Hey folks, I am so sorry today's daily financial news is late. We were actually all the way out in Salzburg and we had to get back to Linsk and just got back in the room. Took 3 pages of notes so that we could go through it today. We are going to talk about existing home sales. We're going to talk about Best Buy. We're going to talk about Lowe's. All of these things that we were talking about over the weekend. Today's the day, Tuesday morning. Let's get into it. First, let's start with existing home sales. If you have been watching this channel for any length of time, you know that about 6 or 8 weeks ago, I said, hey, the CEO of Redfin, Glenn, is wrong. 4 million was not the bottom. I said that 3.8 million would be the bottom. And folks, what did we get this morning? We got 3.79 million. I'm going to call that nailed it. What are some other interesting things in these numbers? 1, prices. Prices are up 3.4% year on year. Yes, folks, I know the Crash Bros told you a crash was coming. They missed it. It was a transaction crash, not a price crash. They should open a book. We are not repeating the Great Recession. It is very much like the data in the 53-year spreadsheet told you, or at least told me. It's going to be transactions. We have been here before. We have had rates go up 500, 600, 700 basis points. And that's what happened. So not only was pricing up, the new number is 391,800. Sales month on month down 4.1%. Year on year down 14.6%. Active inventory. Folks, remember, everybody's talking about active inventory is growing. And yes, we actually had inventory grow last week, which is odd given we are in November. But active inventory is still down 5.7% according to National Association of Realtors. The big number besides price and transactions that was very interesting to me is percent of first-time buyers. This is important for 2 reasons. We have been talking about a broken housing market. We've been talking about luxury stacking up, but yet there is still no inventory. Interest rate lock-in, nobody wants to sell, all of that. First-time home buyers typically are right around 40% of existing home sales. Typically, 40%. Last month, 28%. Folks, interest rates matter, inventory matters. 8% was no good. Remember, we got to 8.03 Mortgage Bankers Association. We are now back off that. We'll see where rates go. Something I've been trying to help you understand for quite a while is consumers are predictable. You and I predict stuff with decent but not perfect accuracy on this channel. Trust me when I say, consumers are going to start to feel they get a deal. What do I mean by that? Remember last June when interest rates broke 6% for the first time? We had agents like Beth Traverso, Omar, Adrian tell us the market stopped. But then rates went down a little bit and the market restarted. We saw the same thing last October and November. This time rates hitting 7%. It came down, came back, now 8, same thing. Why is this important? If we get to a point, in my opinion, where the 30-year mortgage has a 6 on it, 6.9, 6.95, there is going to be a number that unlocks demand. Maybe it's not 6.9, maybe it's 6 3/4, maybe it's 6.5. There will be some number where enough consumers go, honey, we got to strike, we got to do it now, it's a deal. Consumers are predictable. I've been studying them for 30 years. You and I have been talking about it for 5 years. You can go back and watch 12,000 videos. where we talk about these things. So that is existing home sales. Next, I wanted to talk about Lowe's and Best Buy. I highlighted over the weekend that I wanted to see if Lowe's and Best Buy would not only have good quarters, but what would their forecast be? Because I think the economy is clearly slowing down. I think we will have a positive Q4 GDP. It will be something significantly less than Q3 at 4.9, but I think Q1 will be negative. And in order to have that, I felt that both Best Buy and Lowe's would have to have very weak guidance. Lowe's cut their sales outlook and have said homeowners are taking on less projects. Folks, real estate is about 13 to 16% of our economy. And a lot of that velocity of money is like in-home upgrades and things of that nature. Not happening. What about Best Buy? Best Buy was the one I wanted to watch because, as I said over the weekend, I thought they had a lot of demand pulled forward. Right? The pandemic, all these other things, people were buying their TVs. They were buying an extra computer. They were buying their iPads. Whatever it was, you buy at Best Buy. So again, those happened. What did Best Buy say? Holiday shoppers are hunting for deals. People are spent. People are spent. So next, what do we got here? We'll talk about Austin Goolsbee. The golden path to inflation is still here. That he believes there is a chance they can defeat inflation, which means get it to 2%. That is what defeat inflation means, without a big jump in unemployment. What is a big jump? I think anything over 4.5% would be considered a big jump. Wall Street. I can't believe we're having this conversation again, but we are. Wall Street is pricing in the first rate cut in March. Yes, folks. Wall Street is, again, remember what we talked about yesterday. There are 6 times that Wall Street has tried to be early on this, and they were wrong each time. I think they are going to be another one. How about Phil Orlando, not Philip, Phil. He thinks that the S&P 500 could be 5,000 points by the end of 2024. I think that's roughly a 10% move from today. Phil thinks that the Fed is done. We are going to have a soft landing. At worst case, a short and shallow recession. This is kind of where I am as well. Again, I think Q1, Q2 will be weak. I think we will come out of it in Q3. But yeah, so I think that's kind of where we are. But I want to be very, very clear here. I think we can have a recession and the Fed won't cut rates. My hope is the Fed keeps their rates where they are until late next year. Don't know if you guys saw this, but it looks like Argentina has just elected a new president. One of the things that he ran on is he wants to dump the Argentina peso and dollarize the Argentina economy. Folks, I know we have high inflation, but let's realize we don't have it Argentina bad. Argentina's inflation this last year was not 14%. It was 140% or 10x 14%. It is really bad in Argentina. 40% of the population lives in poverty. Again, terrible inflation, all of that. So, will Argentina dollarize? We'll see. It will be an interesting puzzle to solve. How about China? We talked earlier about the U.S. economy, 13% real estate. Why is the Chinese economy in so much trouble? Because 22% of their economy is real estate related. 2 years ago, it was up to 25%. Obviously, again, as we've tried to share on this channel multiple times, people in China buy a second home as their pension so that they could, in theory, sell it when they need it. But yes, when you lose faith in the real estate market, you lose faith in the government, you start to save. And again, remember, China had some deflation last quarter, not disinflation, all out deflation. So, folks, a lot of stuff going on. Lastly, it gives me great joy to let you know that we are now officially sold out. Our February 17th and 18th event in Vegas is sold out. No VIP, no general admission. It's time for me to deliver. It's time for me to work with all of our amazing speakers and make sure that we over-deliver. So, folks, for those of you that got tickets, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. For those of you that want to go or attend in some way, when I get back, I will do a virtual session. I'm going to try to set something up on Zoom because I know there's a lot more people that want to attend that can't physically travel. So I'm going to try to work on a Zoom option to get everybody there day 1, day 2. Hope you had a great day. Again, I apologize for this being late. It was unavoidable. I wasn't even around my phone to be able to do this call. So again, folks, take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. Bye.